2. Chapter on the Measure of Life of the Tathagata. Moreover, at that time, at that period, in the great city of Rajagriha, there dwelled the Bodhisattva called Ruchiraketu, a great being who had rendered service to a previous Buddha, who had planted merit roots, and who was revered by many hundreds of thousands of millions of Buddhas. Thus it occurred to him, what is the cause? What is the reason why the Lord Shakyamuni had such a short measure of life as 80 years? Then it occurred thus to him. It has indeed been said by the Lord, there are 2 causes, 2 reasons for long life. What are the 2? Refraining from killing living beings and giving away food. Now, for many incalculable hundreds of thousands of millions of eons, the Lord Shakyamuni refrained from killing living beings. He not only adhered to the course of action consisting in the 10 merit roots, but he also gave up to beings food and internal and external objects, until finally hungry beasts were satisfied by the flesh, blood, bones, and marrow of his own body. How much more so by other food? Now, while this good man was thinking this, and similar thoughts of mindfulness and concentration on the Buddha, his house became vast and extensive, made of beryl, adorned with numerous divine jewels, a transformation due to the Tathagata, filled with perfumes surpassing those of the gods. And in that house, in the 4 directions, there appeared 4 seats made of divine jewels, and on those seats mats made of divine jewels and fine cotton cloth appeared spread out. And on those mats appeared divine lotuses, adorned with numerous jewels, transformations due to the Tathagata. And on those lotuses there appeared 4 Lord Buddhas. In the east appeared the Tathagata Akshobhya. In the south appeared the Tathagata Ratnaketu. In the west appeared the Tathagata Amitayus. And in the north appeared the Tathagata Dundubisvara. And those Lord Buddhas appeared immediately upon lion thrones. Then not only the great city of Rajagriha was filled with a great light, but also the 1,000 great thousandfold world sphere and world spheres equal to the grains of sand in the Ganges River in all 10 directions became filled with light. And divine flowers rained down, and divine musical instruments resounded. And all the beings in this 1,000 great thousand world sphere by the Buddha's power became possessed of divine happiness. Beings whose senses were incomplete became possessed of all their senses. And beings blind from birth see forms with the eye. And deaf beings hear sounds with the ear. And unconscious beings regain their mindfulness. And beings whose minds were distraught were no longer distraught in mind. And naked beings became clothed in robes, and hungry beings became full-bellied, and thirsty beings became thirstless, and disease-afflicted beings became diseaseless, and beings whose bodily organs were defective became possessed of complete organs. On a large scale in the world there was an appearance of miraculous things. Then, when the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu saw those Lord Buddhas, he became amazed. How is that possible? Pleased, joyful, delighted, rejoicing, full of joy and gladness, he paid homage to where those Lord Buddhas were, and, recollecting those Lord Buddhas, recollecting the virtues of the Lord Shakyamuni, he became to be puzzled concerning the measure of life of the Lord Shakyamuni. He was revolving this reflection. How is this possible? Why is it that the Lord Shakyamuni had such a brief measure of life as 80 years? Then, indeed, those Lord Buddhas, mindful and aware of this thought, spoke thus to the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu. Think not so, noble son, that the measure of life of the Lord Shakyamuni was so brief. Why is that? We do not see anyone in the world of gods, Maras, Brahmas, among the race of ascetics and Brahmins, gods, men, and Asuras, who would be able to understand to the furthest end the limit of the measure of the life of the Tathagata Lord Shakyamuni, apart from Tathagatas, Arhats, those fully enlightened. And as soon as those Lord Buddhas had uttered this explanation of the measure of life of the Tathagata, then, by the power of the Buddha, the gods residing in the realms of desire and of forms, including Nagas, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garudas, Kimnaras, and Maharagas, assembled, and numerous hundreds of thousands of millions of bodhisattvas came together in the house of the Bodhisattva Ruchiraketu. Then those Tathagatas proclaimed in verses to the entire assemblies this explanation of the measure of life of the Lord Shakyamuni. The drops in all the oceans of water can be counted, but no one can count the life of Shakyamuni. As far as the Sumeru Mountains are concerned, all their atoms can be counted, but no one can count the life of Shakyamuni. However many atoms there are on earth, it is possible to count them all, but not to count the life of the Buddha. If anyone should wish to measure the sky, it is possible, but no one can count the life of Shakyamuni. Let there be so many eons and hundreds of millions of eons, so many perfect Buddhas, yet the count of his life is not obtained. Because there are two causes for it, and likewise two reasons: refraining from evil injury and giving much food. Therefore, the count of life of that great souled one is not obtained in so many eons, likewise in so many innumerable eons. Therefore, be free from doubt. Have no doubt at all. As for the limit of the Buddha's measure of life, its count is nowhere obtained.